Hello, Woodwinds. I'm Amanda. I am one of the founders of Virtual Woodwind Academy. And in this video, I wanted to talk about why being positive in the music education space and music performance space is really important. This is not something that I feel is talked about enough, and there tends to be a lot of negativity around in the music space, bullying, mean comments, competitiveness. I hear about, people quitting their instrument because somebody in their band was really competitive and mean to them. I hear about people dropping out of music school because of, a competitive studio atmosphere that doesn't feel good. And given all of the negative things that can exist in the music space, I just wanted to make this video to talk about why at Virtual Woodwind Academy, it's our number one priority is to give you a positive, safe space to make music in. So I made notes for myself with my flute pencil. Anyway, so before I get into, this discussion, I want you to think back on a couple of memories, times in your life. I first want you to think about something, and I'm sure we all have something negative that somebody said to you. So I have a million examples that fly into my mind when I'm like, okay, what's something mean somebody has said to me? Or, maybe they didn't necessarily mean it to be mean or come off as rude, but it still hurt your feelings. Think about a time that happened. Maybe a teacher said something discouraging to you. Maybe a band director did. Maybe somebody in your section did. And just think about how you felt. When I was told by a teacher that I wasn't good enough at flute yet, this was back when I was in high school. I wasn't good enough at flute yet to learn the Ibert Concerto, even though I wanted to. And she said, absolutely not, you can't learn it. That hurt my feelings because I was like, well, I feel very inadequate. Cool. She didn't even tell me that I could learn it a year from now, 6 months from then, 3 years from then. She just said, absolutely not. And then she got upset because I questioned her choice in music. So then I felt bad for hurting her feelings. Well, anyway, that's a whole thing. But you have that negative experience, I'm sure. Cool. Shake it off. I'm shaking off my Ibert Concerto story. And now I want you to think about something positive that happened. Maybe somebody said some good job to you after a performance. Maybe a teacher gave you really good feedback in your lesson. Maybe you made a recording that turned out awesome and you never thought you'd be able to do that before. Maybe you learned a new note on the flute or on your instrument. Whatever, just think of a win. Think of something positive somebody said to you, like, wow, your tone sounded great, or that was an amazing concert, I loved it. I couldn't stop clapping at the end, I wanted to listen to more. Just think about something positive and think about how you felt in that moment. I bet you felt great. And here's the thing about being positive as a music teacher, especially a private teacher that sees people one-on-one, running a music school, all of these things, when you're positive, you make people feel good. So if I sit here and I tell you something that you accomplished, even if in my mind I'm like, okay, there's a couple things I need to work on. If I start with a positive and say, hey, first of all, your tone was awesome. It makes people feel good. There's a reason why I always start with a positive comment when I'm teaching. Because when you feel good, when I feel good, vice versa, whatever, you're more likely to do it again. If you work really hard and play something in your lesson and I'm super negative to you, you might not want to play that piece anymore after that lesson. You might not want to come back for another lesson. So being positive as a music teacher really helps your students be more successful because they feel more motivated to work harder when they're getting positive feedback. So that is a really big reason why we use positivity and create a supportive environment for everyone, because ultimately it leads to more success, more happiness, and just helps keep people motivated. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you're doing this for fun. So whether you're a beginner, an amateur, a professional, like, playing a musical instrument is really hard. It's just really hard. And you're ultimately here doing it because you find it fun. And why would I make it not a fun experience? Like, no, I'm not gonna ruin it for you. Like, you literally went out and got an instrument. You literally practice it like daily or multiple times a week. You invest so much energy into playing it and you love it. Why would I be negative and mean to you? That doesn't support what we're doing here. If you love music, you're playing a musical instrument. Like, you can't like hate it and do it. I mean, even if you like can find some things that you want to improve about your playing, whatever, like, I promise you that it's pretty much impossible to work on learning an instrument if you don't like it. So I'm just going to be encouraging and positive. That's just how I'm going to roll. Also, I bet you're already really hard on yourself. So when you play for me in a lesson and you think like, oh, okay, I wonder what she's going to say. And I'm thinking, okay, there's a couple things that I want them to work on. I start with the positive because I know that in the practice room and even in that moment, like, you are being hard on yourself. That's what practicing is. It's like picking apart our playing and like finding ways to make it better. Like, if you think about it, like, you could like learn all the notes and rhythms to like a really, really long piece, but then have like one part where it's like a little out of tune and then you're getting all hard on yourself. Oh, hold on. Okay, I think my iPad might have froze there. But anyway, you're getting all hard on yourself, like, I can't play that part in tune. Like, I know that you are already your own worst critic. So I'm not going to critique you and make you feel really bad about yourself. Like, obviously, I'm going to offer suggestions and I am going to help you, but I'm going to do it in a positive way that doesn't make you feel like crap. I just am, because we don't need any more negativity in our lives. All right, I gotta plug my charger in. Alrighty. So that's that. And that's about all of my points about being positive, why as a music teacher you should lead with a supportive, positive vibe, and in an ensemble, this is really good as well. Like, I just feel like, especially with performing music, it's a little bit easier in in a lesson environment, because if a teacher's really mean to you, you could just be like, bye, I'm gonna find somebody else. But like, especially when you're performing with a group, like, it's so easy to like be really critical of others, to come off as rude, to come off as mean. And we just have to remember at the end of the day, like, we're all here because we love music. We all work really hard, and we're all human beings that are not perfect. It's not possible. I don't play perfectly all the time. You don't play perfectly all the time. This is just the reality of the situation. So let's not make it harder by being negative. So that's about my spiel. If you found this video helpful, feel free to share it with friends, share it with teachers, share it with section leaders, band directors, anybody that you want to, that you feel called to share it with, because this needs to be talked about more. And maybe in the comments also write down some thoughts about what you think in terms of positivity versus negativity in the teaching environment, in the band environment. Like, let's just get this discussion going and just spread the positive vibes, because that's kind of why we're here. Literally why we made Virtual Woodwind Academy. So thanks for watching my video, and thanks for being a wonderful part of this community. We love you. I love you. And see ya in the next video.